What if the meal you trust in your busiest moments is quietly rewriting your health from the inside out? Imagine it, a steaming cup of instant noodles, warm, easy, comforting. Millions eat them daily. Students, workers, travelers. It's cheap, quick, and satisfying. But inside that familiar taste lies a story few dare to uncover. The real cost isn't on the price tag. It's buried inside your body, your gut, your brain, even your heart. This isn't just about calories or sodium. It's about a slow transformation. And the scary part? You might not even notice it until it's too late. In the next few seconds, you'll discover what your body really goes through when you make this meal your routine. This is no ordinary food story. It's a warning, a health trap hidden behind bright packaging and artificial flavors. A lab-made mix of preservatives, bleached flour, and synthetic chemicals that can silently change how your organs function. One bite at a time, one day at a time. But here's the twist. You won't feel sick. You'll feel full. You'll feel fine. That's what makes it dangerous. Because feeling okay doesn't mean your body is okay. Did you know that instant noodles can linger in your digestive system far longer than natural foods? That they may affect how your brain reacts to hunger, fullness, even memory, or that they've been linked to metabolic stress, inflammation, and weakened immunity in long-term consumers. This isn't fear-mongering. It's science, often ignored, often hidden, sometimes buried under marketing. In this deep dive, we uncover what happens when you eat instant noodles daily, not occasionally, but every day. We reveal how the gut biome shifts, how brain fog becomes normal, how real hunger is confused by flavor enhancers. And we ask a question you might never have thought about. Are you truly choosing convenience, or is convenience choosing for you? Stay with us, because once you see what's behind the noodles, you'll never look at them the same way again. What happens inside your gut when you make instant noodles a daily habit? You chew. You swallow. It feels like food, but your digestive system is facing something it was never designed to handle daily. The synthetic additives, like TBHQ, a chemical preservative used to extend shelf life, don't just pass through. They interact. They stay. They are irritating. Your gut lining, which acts as a gatekeeper for what enters your bloodstream, starts to weaken. It's called leaky gut, and it sounds exactly like what it is. Small holes form in your intestinal walls. Toxins, bacteria, and undigested food particles sneak into your blood. Your immune system goes into overdrive. You feel tired. You get bloated. You might even get sick more often. But you don't trace it back to that bowl of noodles. You blame stress. You blame sleep. Meanwhile, the flavor enhancers, like MSG, trick your brain. They signal satisfaction, even when your body is missing nutrients. You eat more. You crave more. Your natural hunger cues get confused. Worse, your gut bacteria, the tiny organisms that keep your digestion, mood, and even immune health in balance, begin to die off. The bad bacteria thrive, the good ones shrink. And as this imbalance grows, it spreads effects beyond the stomach. It begins to touch your thoughts, your feelings, your clarity. Because your gut isn't just your second brain, it's deeply connected to your real one. Studies show that people who eat highly processed noodles daily may face higher risks of anxiety and foggy memory. But you won't notice this change overnight. It builds silently, like water shaping stone. A little inflammation today, a little fatigue tomorrow. And then one day, you wonder why you always feel off. Still, you reach for that same packet. It's quick, it's tasty, it's your comfort zone. And that's the trap. The very food that once gave you ease begins creating discomfort. You just don't see the line when it's crossed. But your gut does, and soon, your entire system will respond. What if your favorite snack was silently reshaping your brain? Every bite of instant noodles doesn't just hit your stomach, it echoes in your mind. You see, your brain relies on clean fuel, real nutrients. But with daily instant noodles, the brain is robbed of what it truly needs. The artificial additives, saturated fats, and sodium overload create an invisible storm. It's not enough to knock you down, but just enough to dull your focus. At first, it shows in small ways. You forget where you placed your keys. You reread the same sentence twice. You feel foggy during meetings. Then, the mood shifts. You snap faster, feel anxious for no reason. That's no accident. Instant noodles often lack key nutrients like vitamin B12, omega-3s, and magnesium, all essential for brain function and emotional balance. Without them, your brain chemistry falls out of sync. You might think you're tired or just stressed, but it's the food. These noodles engineered to delight are slowly dampening your clarity. And the high sodium? It's silently increasing blood pressure, even around the brain, which has been linked to cognitive decline over time. Combine that with the MSG's ability to overstimulate receptors, and you've got a brain that's being pushed into overdrive without the nutrients to recover. Studies suggest long-term consumption of ultra-processed foods can increase the risk of depression and even memory-related conditions. And yet you eat them smiling. The flavor is familiar, the warmth is comforting, but behind that quick meal, the brain is waving a red flag. You may not feel it today, you may not feel it tomorrow, but over weeks and months, this habit builds a mental fog, a kind of slow, invisible burnout. And one day you'll wonder why you feel like a duller version of yourself. The question is, how many bowls does it take before that version becomes the new normal? You're not just feeding hunger, you're feeding patterns, and your brain never forgets what you feed it daily. Imagine your heart as a loyal worker. Tireless, rhythmic, and faithful. Every minute, it beats over 60 times without rest, all to keep you alive. But what if, day by day, you are making its job harder, without knowing? When you eat instant noodles daily, you feed your heart more than just flavor. You feed it pressure. Each pack of noodles can contain up to 1,700 milligrams of sodium, almost your entire daily limit in one sitting. But let's be honest, most people eat more than one pack. That salt doesn't just add taste, it forces your blood vessels to tighten. Your heart has to pump harder. The pressure builds. Over time, the walls of your arteries begin to stiffen. The blood thickens. The rhythm that once flowed smoothly becomes strained. Silent damage creeps in. You don't feel it at first. No warning signs, no pain. But the numbers on your medical report begin to shift. The doctors call it hypertension. The media calls it high blood pressure. But in truth, it's the slow choking of your heart's freedom. And what's worse, instant noodles aren't just salty. They're often cooked in palm oil, a fat that clogs arteries faster than you think. Combine high sodium with bad fat, and you have a perfect recipe for long-term heart stress. One study from South Korea, where instant noodle consumption is among the highest, found a clear connection. Women who ate them more than twice a week had a significantly higher risk of developing heart problems, even when they weren't overweight. That's the trap. You may look healthy on the outside, but inside, your heart is under siege. The damage is internal, invisible, until one day it isn't. A skipped beat, a tightness in your chest, a racing pulse you can't explain. It starts with a habit, it ends with a crisis, and in the middle, a heart doing everything it can to keep up with the load you gave it. Every bowl is a decision, and your heart is listening. Your gut is not just a tube for food, it's your body's second brain. And when you eat instant noodles daily, the second brain begins to suffer in silence. The gut houses trillions of bacteria, many of which are essential for immune health, mood regulation, and even brain clarity. But here's where things get scary. Instant noodles are ultra-processed. They come loaded with preservatives, synthetic flavor enhancers, and artificial chemicals that don't just slide through your system, they linger. These additives disrupt the balance of your gut microbiome. Good bacteria shrink, bad bacteria grow, and soon you begin to feel the shift, not with pain, but with subtle signs. Constant fatigue, bloating, unexplained anxiety, trouble focusing. It all begins with gut imbalance. One common ingredient, tertiary butyl hydroquinone, or TBHQ, is used to extend shelf life, but studies suggest that TBHQ can alter immune response in the gut, making your system less able to fight real infections. The more you eat, the more your gut lining weakens. The walls become permeable. Toxins start leaking into your bloodstream in a process called leaky gut. And when that happens, your entire body becomes inflamed. Joints ache, skin breaks out, brain fog rolls in. You might blame your workload, the weather, or stress, but your gut knows the truth. It's trying to send a signal, and it started with a cheap bowl of noodles. Imagine a time-lapse video of your gut before and after months of daily instant noodle consumption. In the beginning, it's alive, diverse, glowing with balance, but weeks later, it's pale, struggling, and drained of its protective strength, all because of one small habit that seemed harmless. This is not just digestion, it's the foundation of your immunity, your emotions, and your energy. And when you lose your gut balance, everything else begins to fall apart. That instant convenience comes at a slow, invisible cost, a price your body pays long after the taste is gone. What if your thoughts weren't your own? What if the fog in your mind, the sudden anger or the sadness you can't explain, wasn't random but triggered by what you eat? When you consume instant noodles every single day, your brain begins to operate under a cloud it didn't create. These noodles, despite their convenience, are stripped of real nutrients. They contain almost no omega-3s, no magnesium, and barely any B vitamins, nutrients your brain relies on to regulate emotion, memory, and focus. What they do contain, in excess, is refined carbohydrates and salt. Let's break that down. The sudden spike in carbs causes your blood sugar to rise quickly and crash hard, creating mental swings. You feel drained after eating, irritated for no reason, restless but unmotivated. Your dopamine, the feel-good signal, rises briefly during the salty bite, then plummets after. And this isn't once. This is daily. Imagine this happening to a student, a young professional, a parent. Your brain starts living in survival mode. And here's where it turns darker. A substance in the noodles called monosodium glutamate, or MSG, acts as a flavor amplifier. But in sensitive brains it may overstimulate nerve receptors. Some researchers believe that consistent exposure to MSG may disrupt the way neurotransmitters communicate. That means memory issues, slower reaction time, and mood changes, especially when eaten consistently without counteracting nutrients. Add to that chronic inflammation from artificial additives, and your brain becomes less responsive to serotonin, the hormone of happiness. This is how depression creeps in quietly, not because of one bad day, but because of one repeated habit. Picture this, a side-by-side video of brain scans, one fueled by whole foods, and another fueled by instant noodles. One lights up, the other, dim, foggy, and fatigued. You might smile at the convenience of noodles today, but your brain might struggle to remember why it's sad tomorrow. When food becomes predictable, the body becomes programmable, and daily noodles are writing a code your brain can't debug on its own. What if every bowl of noodles was quietly shortening your clock? Not in hours, in cells. Your body isn't just digesting a quick meal, it's reacting to a slow threat. Every single serving of instant noodles contains high sodium levels that over time harden your arteries. But here's the chilling part. Your heart doesn't scream. It adapts. Until one day, it doesn't. Daily sodium overload raises your blood pressure bit by bit, even if you're young. That pressure damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, setting the stage for hypertension, stroke, and heart disease. And this isn't happening at 60. It's happening silently in your 20s, in your 30s, before you feel the warning signs. Now layer in the saturated fats and preservatives, your cholesterol rises, good fats fall, and inflammation becomes your body's new normal. Doctors have found that people who eat instant noodles regularly are more likely to develop metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that include high blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess body fat, and abnormal cholesterol levels. One Korean study, involving thousands of people, found a direct link between frequent noodle consumption and heart risk, especially in women. Still think it's just a snack? Picture your arteries like clear, flexible tubes. Now add daily doses of waxy oils, sodium crystals, and artificial additives. Over time, those tubes stiffen, narrow, and clog. That's not an exaggeration. It's a reality playing out in millions of bodies right now. And here's the final blow. Your body loses its sensitivity to hunger cues. You eat more, but absorb less. Your system floods with empty calories that fill your stomach, but starve your cells. It becomes harder to detect when you're truly full or dangerously close to a breakdown. So ask yourself, how much is convenience worth? Is the 3-minute prep time worth trading 3 years of your life? In every decision lies a hidden cost. You may not feel it today, but your heart, your brain, your kidneys, they're keeping the score. And one day, they'll send the bill. The next time you tear open that familiar packet, take a moment. What story are you feeding your body? And is it the story you want it to tell?